Our journey with Allison actually started when I was pregnant with Matthew and Allison. They told us at 28 weeks that she was going to die. So they hospitalized me and waited, and she just kept fighting. So I stayed pregnant until she was born with her brother at 35 weeks, and she was amazing. And from that moment on, I knew that she was going to prove everybody wrong at every turn. So she has. I have, I guess, issues for myself from when she was a baby, because I didn't have any idea that there were resources for infants in feeding and therapies for that, and PT for an infant. And had I realized that there were resources for her at that time, I think she would have thrived better at an earlier age. When I look back, she struggled with eating. She would cry, it would take her a half hour to drink a bottle, and she would stop every couple minutes and just cry. Because I realize now it was just so difficult for her just to eat. And I didn't know that. I didn't ever have that with any of my 3 other kids. And I had no resource to ask about it. And now, having been thrown into the world of special needs, I know all of these things that were there for her that just didn't present themselves until I was in that world. So I know I was doing the best for her I could at that time, but I wish that I knew about them for her earlier. I found, professionals that were friends of friends, an OT, a sensory gym, and reached out and just said, can you read these reports for me and give me any feedback that you might have? Point me in any direction that you think might be helpful to me. Facebook, with the groups of other moms who've been through it before, have pretty much been the main resource of research, because parents don't stop the journey of just looking for more information. There's not a book that we can open to tell us what all the opportunities are. So I don't think we'll ever feel like we're done looking, because there's always more out there that we don't know about. Yeah. And when we have, meetings about her, and they try to kind of soften their approach with me as her mom by sharing, little bits of her personality with me, I take offense to that almost, because all of that is a given. She is an amazing person, but that's not why she deserves the best from the world. Every child deserves that. And I hope someday I'm able to help advocate for that also, because separate and aside from her being her, every child deserves the services that they need and the supports that they need, despite who they are and how they act and the family they come from. She's classified as other health impaired because of it, but it doesn't necessarily allow her access to services because there's no real disease associated with it or characteristics associated with it. So everything that comes up, we're like, maybe it has to do with her deletion. We're not really sure. And that makes it difficult. I wish that others could understand how emotional it is and time consuming it is, that it feels very isolating on my part, that other people can't understand what we go through on a daily basis. The feelings of not being enough and not doing enough. It's not something you can really understand until you've gone through it as a mom. I would hope that bringing more awareness to the need for resources and the need for openness of the resources, the publicness of the resources, would free up some of that time of us searching, and people not involved in the community maybe would have more awareness even of what's available, to understand what Allie and others in that community are doing. I think there's not enough awareness around how much work that kids like her put in, extra and above and beyond just their regular schoolwork every day, just to try to catch up with their peers. You have the developmental pediatrician, the neurologist, the ophthalmologist, the cardiologist, the pediatrician themselves. And so they'll all read each other's notes, but not really understand what happened at that appointment. So they don't connect. And so they don't fully understand how to put the pieces together either. So I do that. And I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm trying.